All right, guys, welcome back to my my next Q&A. As you can see, it's a Q&A about the Incredible Hulk. Anyway, if you guys want to be part of the next Q&A, just hit the link in the description box below. Head on over to my Patreon. That'll allow you access to do so. Had something in my teeth there. So professional on this channel. But yeah, like I said, if you hit the first tier, that'll allow you access to do so, and it'll also allow you access to check out my latest movie review, which is on Return to Silent Hill. So if you want to get my thoughts on that movie, just hit the link in the description box below, head on over there, and hit the first tier. But anyway, I want to thank everyone again for questions, and let's get started with the video. Starting off, our first set of questions come from Nolan Unejo, who asks, what are your favorite Hulk comics, Hulk runs in the 60s and 70s? The 60s, you can't go wrong with like Stan Lee and all that, but I would say my favorite stuff from the 70s comes from Bill Mantlo and Len Wein. Those two runs are pretty cool. Mantlo gave us a lot of like bizarre adventures with the Hulk, more of a darker kind of story, but also gave us like these cool, bizarre stories involving the Hulk, like him encountering cosmic beings and other universes. That's how we got Jarella. That's how we got like all these other stuff, like deep cut stuff. And then Len Wein gave us like Wolverine. It also gave us more of a savage Hulk. It gave us more like the Hulk, like kind of the groundwork of what actually Mantlo and Len Wein's run basically kind of carved the path for Peter David's. So I would say those two. Next up, if Hulk got the absolute universe treatment, what would it look like? I would say, and this is what I could think of off the top of my head, is like Banner gets hit with cosmic rays, and essentially what happens, I mean, not cosmic rays, but he gets hit with the gamma bomb, right? But rather than be like feel fine, he's like riddled with cancer, and there's a tumor on him. It's like this big green tumor, and at night, like like when the tumor would like consume him, and we get like this tumor-ridden Hulk monster. Yeah, I'd really go back to the Jekyll and Hyde thing, and Hulk would come out at night, kind of like an Immortal Hulk in the original comics. Why? Because Banner's basically his body's trying to fight the Hulk, like fight this version of the Hulk, and essentially his willpower, because he needs to sleep. Like, so whenever Banner falls asleep or passes out from exhaustion, he turns into the Hulk, and every time he hulks out, that tumor gets bigger. You know, it's like growing further and further, you know? So that's kind of what I got off the top of my head. Anyway, third question. Are there any non-comic villains you can see being in the Hulk's Rogues Gallery? I'd say one that definitely comes off the top of my head is Zod the Immortal from Berserk. I think he really can. I think Zod the Immortal and Hulk would actually be like Zod the Immortal would be a great Hulk villain, honestly. I think seeing those two would throw down would be fun. Anyway, thank you for those questions, Nolan. Moving now to Gordon Rajani, who asks, if you could do your own take on Old Man Hulk, completely ignoring how Mark Millar depicted him in Old Man Logan, how would you do it? I'd probably do something... if I could do this, if I could make a Hulk story, I'd probably go in the route of a Hulk comic where Hulk is like, rather than we get Jen and all that, like the Hulk family got wiped out by the leader, and the leader and a lot of the Hulk's villains have killed all of Hulk's family. Like I'm talking Betty, Jen, Scar, all of them during the night where the heroes all got massacred. And Hulk basically like the leader depowered Hulk. Like he found a way to like take the Hulk away from Banner. So now Banner's like in his 80s, and he's just been living a life as like this, either a vagrant or like a gas station owner, and he just gets picked on. And every night he realizes how much he needed the Hulk. So every night he's like begging the Hulk to come back. And one night, while he's getting he's getting his ass stomped by some D-list villains or some punk kids, he finally feels it, and he's like, he finally feels it, but then he dies. He gets shot in the head, and that's when he sees like this version of the Green Door, and the Green Door's like, you do this, Like you're not like you like the Hulk was sealed behind the green door, but if you go through and Hulk comes back, you're never coming back. And Banner's like, if Hulk can hear me, I have one request: smash them all. And Hulk comes back like this version of like an angry old version of the Maestro, and Hulk is on borrowed time because like Banner's body's dead. If he loses his anger, he's gonna just die. Like he's gonna wither back to Bruce and never come back. So this is just a revenge story of like Maestro old man Hulk going around hunting like Abomination, the Glob, the Missing Link, the Bi-Beast, and getting to finding Samuel Stearns and killing him. So that's what I would like. So that's what I would do. That would be a cool take on Old Man Hulk. Not what we got in Old Man Logan. I love that story, but I hate what they did with Hulk. Anyway, second question. Have you ever seen episodes of the classic Lou Ferrigno Hulk TV show? Is it any good? I like it. It's campy. I will say it definitely is a lot of camp. That's kind of so it really depends on how much you can take it with campiness, but I think there's kind of enough darkness to the story too where you can really play with some cool stuff. Anyway, that's what I'd say. Yes, it's fun. Third question. Does Hulk Hulk has made a lot of superhero rivals over the years, like Wolverine, Thor, and The Thing. Do you have a favorite among these? Ah, yes, the classic 3 Hulk rivalries with other superheroes. Thor, Wolverine, and The Thing. I guess you could count Iron Man in that rivalry, too, because it's always fun to see Hulk fight Tony in a Hulkbuster, because it never freaking works. But those are the big 3 for Hulk when it comes to rivalries. Thor, Thing, and Wolverine. I love a good fight between The Thing and Hulk. It's always fun to see them kind of throw hands, and Thing trying to figure, because he knows he can't beat the Hulk. Like he said it multiple times. I can't beat him in a head-on fight, so I gotta think smart. So that's always one. When he and Thor throw down, it's like a Dragon Ball Z fight. Like I have never, like one of the best Hulk fights ever comes from Thor number 385. That one is just one giant fight where Thor throws the hammer, because Hulk just baits him saying, hey, if you didn't have that hammer, you'd be useless. So Thor just throws the hammer. He's like, it ain't coming back for a while, so you just got these hands. And the two just fight. Like Hulk grabs an oncoming train and just smashes it on Thor. They're yeah. But if you were to ask me what fight I love the most, it's Hulk versus Wolverine. Why Hulk versus Wolverine when I just gushed over how cool when Hulk and Thing or Hulk and Thor fight? The reason why I love Hulk and Wolverine fights, because they're brutal. Like, yeah, Hulk and Thor, like, it's spectacle. Hulk and Thing, it's like, it's tactical for Thing. But when Hulk and Logan throw down, it is just savagery. It is just absolute blood, raw fury. Like, there is just no stopping either of them in a fight. I think a lot of people forget that Wolverine showed up in a Hulk comic. These two, it's just brutality. It's not like spectacle or tact. It's just raw. It's like two animals going at each other. And we haven't had a good Hulk Wolverine fight in years. Yeah, I can't remember the last time we had Hulk, not since Planet Hulk, that we've had a Hulk Wolverine fight. Honestly, I cannot tell you the last time it's long overdue we had a Hulk Wolverine fight. Marvel, you've done a lot of Hulk versus Thor fights. You've done a lot of Hulk versus Thing fights. It's time to put him and Logan back in the ring. Like, it's more than enough time. So, Gail Simone, I know you're writing Uncanny X-Men. It'd be really cool if you had Hulk show up. Or maybe we could get that in Infernal Hulk. Maybe Philip Kennedy Johnson will give us an Infernal Hulk Wolverine fight. Who knows? Anyway. So, yeah, thank you for those questions, Gordon. Moving on now to Mount Vernon Kid. What's up, Chris? First question. Whoever he seems to come as a writer always wants to separate Bruce Banner and the Hulk from each other, but at the end of the day, it's proven that they need each other. Do you feel they need to stop writing these kind of stories? A little, yeah. I mean, that was kind of I wouldn't say that's the overarching thing in Immortal Hulk, but it definitely played a part. You do see that in Philip Kennedy Johnson's Hulk run. Donny Cates kind of did that. They all have that core that Hulk and Banner need each other. I do think it's as much as I am a Hulk fan, I would say that it's kind of a weakness that we always keep trying to do that. And the last time we didn't do that was Mark Waid's Indestructible Hulk, where Banner basically was working for Shield, and he even said like, I can't treat the Hulk like the Hulk. I just have to come to terms that the Hulk is like diabetes or hepatitis. I have to live with it. Like so come to peace with it. So I wish we would get more of that with Hulk. You know what I mean? That'd be nice. But yeah, I do feel, but thankfully, how they've been doing it, especially with Philip Kennedy Johnson, and Al Ewing, little and Donnie, is that, and even like Greg Pak didn't do that either. Greg Pak really kind of depended on Banner and Hulk working together too. So, but the past few runs have kind of predicated on that. So maybe we'll move past that in the next Hulk run whenever Philip ends his run. Anyway, second question. What did you think of Hulk the End? Oh, I love it. I love that. I think it's the best of the End comics. I think it is the absolute pinnacle. It's one of Peter David's best work. It is the absolute pinnacle of that work. And I gotta say, it's just great. Like, it is just a solid, it's the best of the End books. Third question. If Marvel ever continues to do life stories, and they do it for the Hulk, who would be the writer? I actually did a video on this talking about my pitch for a Hulk life story comic. My pick for a writer, though, like, who would I love to see write that character? I've got a few. If you want to go for someone who's done a phenomenal run, I would say Al Ewing. Bring Al Ewing back for more Hulk. If you want to go some, I would say actually I would like someone who hasn't written Hulk yet. I would actually like to see someone who hasn't written a Hulk story. So Daniel Warren Johnson. Could you just imagine a Daniel Warren Johnson Hulk comic written and drawn by him, especially a Hulk life story? So him would be cool. I think who I just had it too. Joshua Williamson would be interesting. Christopher Cantwell. Yeah, those are a few picks. So yeah, like I said, I think it should be like, I kind of feel like it should be a writer. Either if you don't have Ewing, I feel like it should be like Greg Pak would probably be put on it. It'd probably be Pak, but I would say like have someone who hasn't written the character before. You know what I mean? You see their spin. Anyway, thank you for those questions, Chris. Moving on now to Alistair Bondman, who asks, this might be cheating, but what did you think of the She-Hulk run where Jen has a romance with the obscure hero Jack of Hearts? I actually I do have that run thanks to Chris, but like, I thought it was fine. There's not real, the thing is, it's more of a romantic comedy and more of a drama than anything else. It's more of that it's more of that kind of story than any kind. It's more of that, you know what I mean? So if you're looking for an action-packed comic, you're not going to get that. There is some action, but it's more of a slice of life drama than anything else, you know what I mean? I think it's fine. The writer is Rainbow Rowell, if for anyone curious. Second question. If you could create a new villain for the Hulk family, doesn't necessarily have to be Bruce's villain, who would it be and what gimmick power would they use? Between you and me, the floorboards, I'm so sick of villains, they're just hero reflections and some gimmick or powers. How I would probably do a new Hulk villain is probably like, maybe have it be like a vampiric. He's had these before, but they've never been like a major threat. But maybe have a new villain who's like a vampire, but he was exposed. It was a typical vampire, but somehow he got exposed to gamma radiation. So now he needs to feed on gamma blood, like gamma irradiated blood. So the more he drinks, the more like a more hulked out vampire monster he becomes. Kind of walks that line between the science fiction and the supernatural. I think that would be kind of fun. So, third question. What, in your opinion, is the best version of the Hulk? MCU, Earth's Mightiest Hero, the comics, live action from the live action from the 70s. I can tell you right now, it ain't going to be the MCU Hulk. Like, absolutely not. MCU Hulk, since Avengers, has just been consistently, or even Age of Ultron, really. Like, since Age of Ultron has just been kind of an embarrassment, if I'm being honest. Like, how they've been using that character, I haven't liked it. So it's not going to be MCU Hulk. Earth's Mightiest Heroes Hulk would be kind of in the running for that. I think that's a solid Hulk. But I would say the definitive Hulk for me, like the definitive version of the Hulk, would probably be probably the Peter David Run era of Hulk. Like that's the groundwork for everything Hulk for so long. You know what I mean? It's probably that. But if I was to pick like something outside of comics, I'd probably pick probably Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Actually, the more I think about it, it's like, yeah, that was a solid Hulk. Anyway, thank you for those questions, Alistair. Moving on now to Phoenix Davidson, who asks, when it comes to the face of Marvel anti-heroes, would you consider Hulk to be one of those faces? Actually, kind of, yeah. I think people, when you think Marvel anti-heroes, you usually think things along the lines of Wolverine, Punisher, Ghost Rider. Those are the big three. Hulk I would put there because Hulk is, he is among the angels, but monster got a smash and he will kill you. Like, this is good. He will definitely try to kill you if it comes down, push comes to shove. You know what I mean? So yeah. Second question. What are your overall thoughts on the Planet Hulk animated films? Well, film, excuse me. I like the Planet Hulk animated film. Does it change a lot of the story? Yes, because it's not Silver Surfer like it was in the comics. In here, it was Beta Ray Bill. And as a Beta Ray Bill fanboy, I was like, yeah! Also, it does kind of try to truncate a massive story arc into an animated film, but it really works. There's some great action. I think Michael Dobson is a very underrated Hulk voice. Yeah, I think it's pretty solid. I do know that they changed things because, again, they didn't have the rights to, Fantastic Four in animated form at the time. So that was kind of it. That was kind of the thing. But I think they made some solid, the choices, and they went for alternate alterations. Like, again, it's Beta Ray Bill, not Silver Surfer. They focus a lot on some of the Thor stuff. I think it was pretty solid. I think it's a really good. I think it's the best Marvel animated movie on it. Of those Marvel animated movies, that's the best one. Anyway, so third question: what's your opinion on Doc Samson? I think he's a good character. He's a very. The problem is with Doc Samson is that he's a character who really kind of gets. He's a character anyone can write. The problem with that is there's no set personality for him. Like, a lot of people consider him to be a character who, a lot of people think can be an arrogant son of a bitch, or he cares, like in Miles's book. He's a good therapist. So I think he's good. I think it just depends on, it's one of those, it depends on the writer kind of situations, if I'm being honest. That's kind of the thing. Anyway, thank you for those questions, Phoenix. Moving on now to Cyborg 19.99, who asks, what are your thoughts on Laura, Hiro Kala, and Scar? And who is your favorite of Hulk's children? I think a lot of people forget that Hulk has kids. There's Lyra, who was his and Hulk's daughter, his and this villain named Thundra's daughter from another universe. Hiro Kala and Scar are brothers. I think Hiro Kala died recently. Yeah, he was killed in the Imperial storyline, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't read that yet, but I think that was the case. I would say Scar, probably because he has the most character to him. So Scar is definitely the one I would say. I would also, Scar. He has the most to him, and there's also like a really heartbreaking, like a really heartwarming story where Scar is trying to kill Hulk, and Hulk beats him, and in that moment where he's about to like hit Scar again, he just thinks of how his father was, and Banner and Scar break the cycle of that kind of abuse. So yeah, I just wish they would do more with those characters, you know? Anyway, second question. Do you think Rick Jones should return as A-Bomb? Kinda, yeah. I think Rick Jones was pretty cool as A-Bomb. I wouldn't be opposed to seeing A-Bomb again. But Rick Jones can just be whoever, really. Maybe they can do like what Al Ewing did with Betty, where she basically became a mixture of the She-Hulk, the Red She-Hulk, and Harpy, and became Red Harpy. Maybe what they can do here is have it be, it could be a cool mixture of his Captain Marvel days and A-Bomb, and call it Captain A-Bomb or some shit like that. I don't know. Anyway. Third question. Do you remember Jim Wilson, and was there another way that the Hulk could have saved his life? That's a deep cut right there. That is a straight up deep Hulk lore cut right there. So for those who don't know who Jim Wilson is, Jim Wilson was a character who was kind of like the pseudo replacement for Rick Jones, like a cool sidekick. He was this young African-American kid who befriended the Hulk and was he was like the Rick Jones stand-in. I personally I like the character, but for those who don't know, he died of AIDS. Jim Wilson died of AIDS, and Hulk was there, and Hulk did try to save him, but there was nothing he could do. I don't think there should be a way for Jim Wilson to come back. It's kind of like with the original Captain Marvel, where cancer was kind of permanent. So him dying of AIDS was kind of a permanent thing, and it would also be kind of insulting to resurrect that character. Yeah. So that would be pretty insulting to bring him back. And even Hulk was like, I can't, and this was like Professor Hulk too. So he was like, I can't do anything to save him. So I think that would be kind of messed up if they did try to bring him back, but no, there was no way he could save him. Anyway. Yeah. That's kudos for that deep cut right there. So thank you for those questions, Cyborg. Next up is Hunter Johnson, who asks, what would Hulk think of Jasper? I think it would depend on the Hulk. If it's like Savage Hulk, he'd be like, Orange Girl, Orange Girl hurt Hulk, Hulk hurt back. Or if it's like a smarter Hulk, he'd be like, go away before I smash you. There's no in between. Because Jasper's going to try to start a fight, and Hulk's going to end the fight. Yeah. Second question. I don't understand why Hulk became a villain in Old Man Logan, and I'm really not a fan of the whole incest thing he did with a writer. What were the writers of Marvel thinking? Well, it wasn't really the writers per se. It was Mark Millar, Mark Millar has always been notorious for doing edgelord stuff. If you think that's bad, you should see his Ultimate X-Men. Jesus Christ. And people wonder why I hated the original Ultimate Universe. So, yeah. The Hulk story basically, that really sucked. I hated it. Like, it's the one, as much as I love Old Man Logan as a story, it's the one thing I hate is the whole incest thing, and it's always stuck. Like, that's the problem, is that it just stuck. I don't understand why he did it. And it's also like, let's talk about this real quick. A majority of Marvel alternate universes, a lot of Marvel alternate universes have Hulk has become a villain, right? Like right out the gate. I know, big scary monster, but every time Marvel Zombies, the Punisher versus Marvel Universe, they all became like rabid animals. Maestro from Future Imperfect. the Ultimate Universe, both previous Ultimate Universe and this current Ultimate Universe. What is the obsession with making Hulk a villain? Like, yeah, I know he's powerful and you want to see the characters like overcome him, but like it's kind of predictable, guys. Like, come on. Anyway, third question. Are you aware of the fact that the Hulk was inspired by Frankenstein's monster and Jekyll and Hyde? Yeah, I've known since I started reading Hulk. Like, that's nothing new. Like, Stan Lee was inspired by, the Boris Karloff Frankenstein monster and Jekyll and Hyde. Like, that is just common knowledge to everyone. Anyway, so thank you for those questions. Hunter, moving on now to Jason Voorhees 2011, who asks, how were you first introduced to the Hulk? It's a good question, because sometimes even I can't remember very well of what really introduced me to the Hulk. I would probably say like my first interaction with the Hulk was the 90s cartoon. That was probably where it came from, was like the 90s cartoon, and it kind of went further from there, excuse me. I was reading, like, the first Hulk comics I got were from the Bruce Jones run, where Absorbing Man was like taking over people's minds, and it was more of a nightmare book. So there's that. That was kind of my first introduction to comics with the Hulk. And then it really kind of dovetailed after Ang Lee's Hulk, really. I think that's where it really came from. So, I think those were kind of like my early interactions for the Hulk and wanting to be a fan of the character. Anyway, second question. Do you prefer Hulk when he talks or the typical brute, or do you prefer when he gets traces of Banner's intellect in certain comics or in Earth's Mightiest Heroes? That's always a good question. Do I prefer Hulk when he's just Hulk smash, or when he's capable of, like, talking? I think, again, it depends on the writer, because sometimes I just want to see Hulk go Hulk smash, but it does wear thin. And then there are other times where I'm like, I kind of wish we just had Hulk smash instead of him talking like all this. So I think it just depends on, if I'm being honest personally, I think it's more on the mood, how I'm feeling on the mood, than anything else. That's kind of my thought. That's my thought process, honestly. Anyway, third question. What is the best Hulk video game, and why is it Ultimate Destruction? Yeah, it's no contest that Hulk Ultimate Destruction is the best video game. Yeah, without a doubt, the best Hulk game is Ultimate Destruction. It's just perfect. Like, it's just absolutely perfect as a game. I love it. Absolutely love it. It's one of the best superhero games ever, too. So thank you for those questions, Jason. Moving on now to Christopher Rosa, who asks, who is your favorite Hulk supporting character, and why is that character your favorite? Favorite Hulk supporting character? That is an interesting question. I would probably say my favorite Hulk supporting character would probably be something along the lines, probably Betty or Doc Samson. Those two are like the true two outside of Ross are the true like ties that keep Hulk together. Rick is always cool too, but Rick always feels like he's everyone's character. Like, he's every Marvel character. So I'd probably say like Betty or Doc Samson. Who is your favorite Hulk enemy? My favorite Hulk enemy would probably be the Abomination. I know like the Leader is cool too, and people consider the Leader as the Hulk's true enemy or arch enemy, but I would say Abomination. Emil Blonsky has done a lot of damage to the Hulk as well. Like, the Abomination is intelligent. He's also can go blow for blow with the Hulk, and he murdered Betty Ross. Like he killed Ross, Betty Ross, and pinned it on the Hulk. He's also like incredibly sadistic, and there's a lot of character to him as well. And he also looks like a gamma powered Gill man. How can I not like him? So I'd probably say the Abomination. Anyway, third question. Which other superhero in Marvel Universe is your favorite ally to the Hulk, and why do you think that character is the best relationship with the Hulk? Um, there's a few characters who are like, yeah, let's go, Hulk. We're friends, Hulk. But it's a small list because there's really only a few people can really trust being around the Hulk. So I would probably say Spider-Man. Spider-Man, like Peter never once tries to like antagonize the Hulk or be like, oh, Hulk, what are you doing here? I'm going to fight you. It's more like, oh, hey, Big Green, what's going on? He's kind of like Peter understands that like the Hulk isn't evil. Like he's not out to smash people. He knows how to like talk to the Hulk. Um, and yes, Hulk and Spider-Man have fought, but like there's never a time where like immediately, like it's not like with Tony or the Fantastic Four where it's like everyone's immediately on guard to fight the Hulk. It's more like, oh, like Spider-Man would encounter the Hulk and be like, okay, let's see what's going on with Big Green, and he'd always try. Peter always tries to get Hulk's side of the story more than anything else. Like, that's the thing. He always tries his best to get, Hulk's side of the story before making any judgment calls. Even if it means, like, I gotta fight the Hulk to do it. You know what I mean? So there you go. Christopher. Thank you for those questions. Moving on now to Bill McLaughlin, who asks, who is a writer you always wanted to have a Hulk run? Oh, I did kind of answer this, but that was for a Hulk life story. So a writer I would love to have, I've always wanted to see write the Hulk, is Daniel Warren Johnson. I mean, I would love to see him do a Thor run after his Beta Ray Bill miniseries, but I personally would love to see him do a Hulk run, writing and drawing, like how you think like he's such a wrestling fan, like to see Hulk do like a power bomb on someone or something of that, something akin to that would be a lot of fun. Yeah, so I'd probably say like, I'd probably go with, that. Daniel Warren Johnson, and another one I would like to see, Joshua Williamson. I'd like to see Joshua Williamson, and now he's going to be writing for Marvel. Maybe we could get some Hulk there. I would not be opposed to. I'm not going to say Tom King. I don't know if I would like it as much as I like Tom King as a writer. I don't know if he'd be the right guy for Hulk. I mean, I'd be curious to see what he does, but he's not my go-to. Maybe Ram V. Well, yeah, Ram V would actually be pretty cool on a Hulk. I would actually kind of like that. Anyway. Or Dan Watters. He's also good. So those are just a few picks. Second question. What Hulk villain do you feel is underrated? If your name isn't the leader or Abomination in the Hulk's Rogues Gallery, you're underrated. That's kind of what it is. The Hulk has a pretty eclectic Rogues Gallery, but the problem is it's kind of like with some villains like Hawkman, or Aquaman, where it's really like you got one or two villains that everyone knows, and that's really it. So, like I said, if your name isn't the leader or Abomination, you're just not going to matter. MODOK is kind of considered Hulk's villain, but he started out in Iron Man. He's kind of an every villain. Same with the Absorbing Man. But for a few other villains I'd say were underrated, I'd probably say the Glob. That's a fun one. The Missing Link. Oh, and the Bi-Beast. Those are a few I would say. Oh, and Tyrannus. Tyrannus is another one. Anyway, so third question. What's your favorite alternate version of the Hulk? Favorite alternate version? I mean, the Maestro is pretty cool. Not gonna lie, the Maestro is a really solid character. So I'd probably, the Maestro would be one. I would probably say, Yeah, the Maestro. That's one I would probably go with. Hmm. Hmm. Probably say like Hulk 2099 is a cool one, just design wise. Yeah, those are a few. But if I was to say like main universe, Joe Fixit. Like alternate Hulk, it'd be Joe Fixit. Thank you for those questions, Bill. Moving on now to Tom Hibbert, who asks, do you think the 70s Lou Ferrigno and 2003 Ang Lee Hulk are the only ones that are the true character's core, especially like the two versions that went through some hardships? Kinda, yeah. I'm probably like, I mean, Ang Lee's Hulk is not great. Let's be real; it's not a great movie. But I will say it definitely captures like a lot of the emotional core for Hulk. So I would say that. Um, it'd probably be yeah, like yeah, I would agree with that. They're not great, but they do definitely like capture the emotional core of the character. Second question: what are your thoughts on Batman versus the Incredible Hulk? Yeah, for those who don't know, that was the second Marvel DC crossover. It was written by Len Wein. Hulk versus Batman, which you think like they're both named Bruce, isn't that funny? And it was so bizarre too. It was the team up between the Joker and a little known Hulk character called the Shaper of Worlds. Um, it's it's fun, but it is more of a Batman story than it is a Hulk story. And also, I do find it complete bullshit that that Batman like punches the Hulk in certain spots, and he like no, you should be breaking your hands on the Hulk's skin, Bruce. That's not how this works. Um, but I do think it's pretty fun. I do think it's a solid story. It's not the best of the first round of Marvel DC crossovers. It's definitely fun though. Anyway, favorite cartoon Hulk. What is my favorite cartoon Hulk? Um, I'd probably say like Earth's Mightiest Heroes version, but you can't go wrong with the '90s cartoon either. I feel like that's the only logical question. I mean, the logical answer to that question. Think of those questions, Tom. Moving on now to David Deister, who asks, what would a Hulk Aquaman crossover look like? It would be a great tribute to Peter David. Hmm. A Hulk Aquaman crossover. I would probably say Hulk and Aquaman. I'd probably say like something like maybe it'd be kind of cool if we didn't use like Leader or Abomination. Maybe have like Tyrannus and Ocean Master teaming up. That'd be kind of cool. Like something like that, like using Tyrannus, who's this underground warlord, and he's teamed up with Ocean Master to conquer the realms. So Hulk and that's something that's just what I got off the top of my head, if I'm being honest. Anyway, second question: will Disney buy back the rights, buy back the Hulk rights from Universal? I think they have the movie rights already. Yeah, I do think they have the movie rights to Hulk already. They're just not doing anything with them. Probably because they don't think a Hulk movie would be profitable, even though that's the thing we've been begging for years and years. A actual Hulk movie that would be really solid. So yeah, um, yeah. Anyway, so that's kind of like that's yeah. I think they have it already. Could be wrong though. Third question: what are your 5 favorite Hulk runs? 5 favorite Hulk runs. Okay. My 5 favorite Hulk runs would probably be Peter David. Yeah, without a doubt, Peter David made the Hulk. So Peter David, in no order too, but if it was Peter David at number one. Um, I'm liking Philip Kennedy Johnson's run, Al Ewing, Bill Mantlo, and yeah, Len Wein. So there you go. Those are the 5 Hulk runs I really enjoy. Anyway, so there you go, guys. That is the Incredible Hulk Q&A. I want to thank everyone once again for sending in questions. And like I said, if you'd like to be part of the next Q&A, just hit the link in the description box below. Head on over there. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the multiverse.